Here is a Boolean function with 3 inputs, and we would like to construct a combinatorial circuit for this Boolean function. To do that, we are going to consider the outputs that are 1s, and here we see that there are 2 outputs that are equal to 1. And out of the 8 cases, since we have 3 inputs, we have a total of 8 cases. The second case is when the input x is 0, the input y is 0, and the input z is 1. And we want the output for that to be 1. And here is the other output 1, and this is when the input x is 1 and the other 2 inputs are 0. We only use those inputs that have 1, and for those we construct what we called minterms. The minterms are very easy to construct. If the input has the value 0, then we use the complement of the variable. And if the input has the value 1, then we use the variable. All of that with the gate AND. So in this case, x has the input 0, so we use x apostrophe. That's the inverse of x. And then here AND, same thing with y, complement of y. And because z has the value 1, then we simply use z with no complement. Now we construct the minterm for the other output 1, and here we use x and y prime and z prime. Now notice that these 8 cases they are mutually exclusive. So in other words, they don't happen at the same time. If x is 0, y is 0, and z is 1, that's the only case out of those 8 possibilities. Now, we want the output to be 1 in each of those 2 cases. So one way to get that is if if x is 0, we want the opposite of x, or the complement of x, which will give us 1. So that's why we have x prime here. And all these values, x prime would be 1, y prime would be 1, and z is 1. And when we use the AND gate, this will give us 1. So the output will be 1. Any other combination of any other value of x, y, and z will give 0, right? For this particular minterm, for this particular Boolean expression, if x is 1, this will be a 0. So the entire expression will be 0. If y is 1, this entire expression will be 0. Any of the other 7 cases, the value of this minterm would be 0. And here we want the output to be 1. Any other values of x, y, and z will make this minterm to be equal to 0. So if x is 1, y is 0, and z is 0, this would be 1, 1, and 1, and that will give us 1. Any other value will be 0. So that will force these 2 outputs to be 1 when we are in each of these 2 cases. All the other cases, it will be 0. Now combining these 2 terms with the OR gate, then we have our complete Boolean expression. So the output will simply be x prime and y prime and z, or x and y prime and z prime. And that is the Boolean expression for this Boolean function.